Hello everybody, welcome to this Q&A session. My name is Bethan, I'm one of the practitioners at Valley Steps, and I'm joined today by Jane, who is our volunteer support officer, and then four of our wonderful volunteers. We've got Matthew, Claire, Kath and Jonathan. And to celebrate Volunteers Week, we just wanted to spend a bit of time chatting to our volunteers about their role at Valley Steps and the kind of things that they do and what they enjoy, and some of the benefits they find from volunteering for their own kind of personal well-being and their own kind of personal life. So I'm going to hand over to Jane, who's going to ask our first question.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi.
Would you sort of mind saying what inspired you to volunteer for Valley Steps?
Well, it started with, I did an 8-week mindfulness course myself a few years back, and I wanted to just sort of keep in touch with my practice, because one of the things I liked about the course was practicing with other people. And when I looked for places where you could go to sort of meet others to learn about mindfulness, they were always in Cardiff, they were always miles away, so I wanted to look for somewhere local. And then I just came across Valley Steps and found that they were looking for volunteers to help, you know, with the mindfulness courses and with the stress control courses. So I got in touch, sent an email, and I came up and I had a chat with you, Jane, didn't I, in the office?
Yeah,
and just sort of went from there, really. Yeah.
Jonathan, hello.
Hello.
What inspired you to volunteer for Valley Steps?
Well, I'm looking to go into psychology anyway, so I'm going to uni now this September. And I was looking for volunteering that would relate to that and to where I'm looking to go. So, and for me, I was with BAVO, so it's a Bridgend Association Volunteer Organisations. I went and asked them, you know, is there any volunteering sort of works with psychology or within like well-being in the area? And I think they sent my information over to you, and then I had the meeting with you.
Yes. So Claire, if I come to you now, if I ask the same sort of question.
What inspired me? Well, I met somebody at a social function, actually, who was herself a volunteer with Valley Steps. And we chatted about how I had some time available and how I was intending to pursue some volunteering in some capacity. So she directed me to Valley Steps, and it evolved from there. I liked the idea that Valley Steps was a local charity and a well-being charity. My previous volunteering experiences had been mainly within education as a school governor for many, many years, also within sport and other fields as well. So a well-being charity was something completely new for me. And once I got involved, I was hooked, I suppose. So really I stumbled across Valley Steps a bit by accident.
Oh, thanks, Claire. And Kath?
Well, mine's a little bit different, because I actually started off with the Swansea Health Board doing the stress control course, because I was very stressed and had anxiety problems. And I enjoyed that very much. And then more recently, I thought, oh, it would be interesting for me to do that sort of thing as a volunteer. So I went to Barvo. And they said, well, actually, we're looking for people. So I met you in the recreation centre.
Yeah.
And then carried on. So I've been either side of it. I've been one of the people doing the course with the other authority before you took over. And also, I've been now able to use that to help other people when I'm talking to them. I know how they feel and how nervous they are when they come in and things.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Bethan, have you got anything?
Yeah, it's interesting time, isn't it? Because obviously the normal volunteer role is supporting the practitioners on the physical courses, obviously, in the community. So I guess I wanted to ask, you know, what people enjoy most about their role with Valley Steps. So I'll start with Matthew again. So what do you enjoy most about, you know, the work that you do with us?
I think it's lots of things, really. It's nice just to go to the venue every week and feel as if you're contributing and doing your little bit to help. It's nice to be in a supportive role, because in my job I'm kind of in charge all day. So you know, we come to Valley Steps and I'm there to help out, and I like that. And it's lovely to see the practitioners every week. You get to know them. And then just seeing people coming in, and you know, it's difficult when you're going on a stress control course. You can imagine people quite often are feeling a bit stressed themselves. So you're just a friendly face, really, when they arrive. So just someone to welcome them in and make sure you can try and put them at ease a little bit. And you know, it's just, you feel as if you're helping people by doing that. Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's the big thing, isn't it, that a lot of the volunteers say, and probably a lot of you will agree with, is that idea of just feeling like you've helped people in some kind of way as well. Jonathan, then, I'll come to you. What do you enjoy most about the role?
Well, I guess that it is just the sort of being there and actually being able to sort of help and feel like you're helping people as well. And it's nice as well for me because it gets me out travelling a bit, because some of the distances I cover, I get down to Porthcawl and things like that, which is quite nice as well. So I just really want to echo Matthew said, really, is not mostly it is, it's just like feeling helpful, I suppose, and feeling like you're doing something to help other people.
Yeah. Clay, what about you? What's your favourite part?
I suppose it's being part of, feeling part of an organisation full of lovely people, positive people, welcoming people. The role of a volunteer is not too great a commitment. There is a minimum expectation of involvement, but you can give more time if you're available. There's no expectation to keep committing more of your time. And even the smallest of time commitment is gratefully received and valued by the staff at Valley Steps. It's rewarding, like has already been said, and you feel like you're making a small difference to the well-being of others.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, as a practitioner, I rely massively on anybody that's supporting on my courses, and even just being able to fill in just one session here and there is massively appreciated. You know, even if people aren't in a place to commit to, you know, full 6-week courses, you know, all the team really appreciate any time that's given. Kath, what about you then? What's your favourite part of the role?
I like the initial bit when you're sort of registering the people and they're quite unsure about what's going on, and you can sort of be a mummy to them or just sort of ease them in. And quite often I say, I know how you feel because I've been on the other side of it as well. So it's daunting, but it's very good. And I know one particular young man that I remember, I've seen him around town as well, and he's in his own little bubble, but he came in and he was very unsure, and he came at the back, and it had been raining. So I said to him, oh, we've got the radiator on here, put your coat on it. And after that, you could see him just chilling out and, you know, like, oh, this isn't so bad. So it's just that, really, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's the really valuable thing about our volunteers as well. It's that friendly face when people come in. You know, a lot of people, like Matthew said, come into our courses, you know, are quite anxious or quite stressed or really unsure about kind of what's going to happen. And I think having somebody there that's separate to the practitioner in some kind of way, that is just that kind of warm, sort of welcoming face, you know, you're there for whatever help they kind of need. I think that's really beneficial and really helpful.
So what would you feel are the benefits of volunteering? What are the benefits that gives you as a personally? Because we've talked about what you were giving to other people, and you give so much of yourselves, because what we tend to find is people will talk to you when they just that little chat as they're coming in through the door, whereas they wouldn't seek out a practitioner. You were the people really on the front line, the first people they see, and you give such a lot. But what do you get out of it? Matthew?
I think it's good for your well-being to help others. And, you know, you're giving something to the community, giving of your time and just to help other people. It just gives you a little bit of a glow, I think, to feel you've made a little bit of a difference. And you see people visibly relax, you know, as the weeks go on through a course. You see the same people coming every week, and you see them, you know, the first week, they know they're a little bit unsure, don't really know what's happening. The next week you see them get a smile, and then, you know, people will start to chat. And as you say, sometimes people get there a little bit early and they'll have a little chat with you before it starts. And then by the end of it, you know, you all sort of know each other that little much better. I mean, they're not the sort of courses where nobody asks your name if you come on a course. Nobody's asked to sort of contribute, but you'll see people do sort of open up and get chatty, and I just think, this just gives you a nice feeling that you've done something to help.
So Jonathan, do you find you know, you get, you know, a bit back?
Yeah, it is that thing of feeling useful, where I'm feeling like you're helping. you know, that is such a nice feeling to have to feel like you're helping people who maybe are struggling. So obviously it's all anonymous. We don't really know details, but when you, and again, like Matt said, seeing that difference sometimes from someone when they come at the beginning to the where they are at the end of the course, and you can see that improvement and feeling like you've been part of that and been part of helping them progress it is a really, really nice feeling.
Yes. So Claire, have you got anything to add?
Not really. As I said, the benefits to me is that feeling that I'm an essential part of an organisation, I suppose, belonging to a team who are tangibly helping the community, supporting with the public, the attendees, and seeing the difference, as others have said, as the course progresses. And I learn something new every session. Every session that I attend, I'm picking up snippets of information, hints on how to improve my own well-being and the well-being of others around me, really. So yeah, it definitely helps with my own well-being, but it's great to see others progress and blossom, I suppose, as the course goes on.
It is like as Boz mentioned, there's a learning aspect to it as well for us. Obviously sitting in the sessions, so we are learning it as well. And so sometimes if you're doing 2 sessions in a week, I know by the way, sort of you're getting like double reinforcement of that thing as well. So that can sort of help it go in, like, you know, that's how as well you feel like you're learning as well as helping other, you're learning yourself as well. And obviously when you're learning new things, I think that anyone, you feel good when you learn new things, when you're picking up new skills and enhancing, like with the mindfulness stuff, enhancing my own practice further. So it is, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll come on to the last question then. So this is about obviously the lockdown period, and things are very different in Valley Steps at the moment because we're sort of getting our sort of online content kind of up and running. But it's just to really ask if any of you have managed to do any sort of voluntary work at all during lockdown, you know, whether that is with us or whether it's been with sort of other organisations or other kind of community groups, or if you've just, I don't know, been doing shopping for somebody you know is vulnerable. So I won't necessarily go around for this one, but if anybody wants to sort of jump in and say, you know, what they've been doing, I think that would be quite nice.
I haven't embarked on any other volunteering throughout lockdown. Really, I've been concentrating on keeping my own family safe and healthy, and we've succeeded so far. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of...
Yes, you can't wait.
The thing is, Claire, as well, I think it's... you know, when we think of sort of volunteering, we often think of sort of like doing a sort of volunteer role for charity, you know, like you guys do at Valley Steps. But I think at the moment in lockdown, it's any little thing that we can do. And if that is just looking after our family and making sure that we're all safe, that's helping the wider community, isn't it? You know, if we're doing what we can to follow the guidance and to keep everybody safe, then that's contributing back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody else had any experiences at all in lockdown with volunteering, or again sort of giving to others in any way?
Not so much volunteering, but I just think, you know, it's been a difficult situation, but I think it's brought out the best in a lot of people as well. I know more people in my street now than I did beforehand. We've got a little Facebook group, and then if anybody wants anything, they can just sort of, you know, if someone's going to the supermarket, they can pick up something for somebody else, and it's just sort of, you know, people looking after each other really, and that's been good. It's been one positive thing that's come out of this.
I think that's a really
the kindness and compassion thing you mentioned earlier. You know, by helping others, you feel good yourself, and it's a boost to yourself. I think
absolutely.
That, yeah.
And I think that's a really good point. Again, it's you know, we talk about giving in terms of looking after our well-being, like showing kindness or compassion to others, or doing what we can to help others. And sometimes that is just as easy as, you know, having these little Facebook or WhatsApp groups and just dropping people a message and seeing how they're doing. You know, if we're going to the supermarket, does anybody need anything while I'm out? You know, it's those little ways I think we've all found to try and just help each other along through what's quite a difficult time. And you hope that that's the kind of thing that carries on, you know, even once this is all over. You hope that that's the kind of thing that can continue, you know, moving forward. Kath, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I'm learning to use things like this, which I wouldn't have bothered with before. So that must be quite good, I guess. Yeah. I can talk to grandchildren, got some in the Wanda, and it's really bad up there. So, you know, they've got to stay in their house and everything. Some in my state, but that might as well be Timbuktu at the moment. And so on. And then once down the road, she does call in the more, every now and again they come and we go sit outside, and you just appreciate it that they're fine, and everybody so far has been okay and so on. And my husband's still working, so that sort of thing, isn't it? There's an income coming in and so on. So just stop taking things for granted.
Yeah.
It's one thing, we have spent a lot of time in the garden, and the weather has been very conducive for that.
Oh, yeah.
Garden has been lovely, and just trying to be mindful in the garden, appreciating every moment, because you just think the weather's going to change any minute. It has today.
It has, yeah. I think it's nice as well that the people so many people I talk to have either found some kind of new hobby or new passion, or have had the time to throw themselves back into stuff that they used to do but they've run out of time of. Like, I know myself, I've been back into music a lot more than I've been able to when I'm sort of working, in the office kind of full time. Like, I've got a lot more time now where I can, play my sax or write stuff, and it's quite nice to almost feel like you're sort of reconnecting with a part of you you've lost sometimes, because stuff is so busy normally. There's very rarely any downtime, and I think that's been quite nice, really, just to actually have more time to do the things you love, Right, so I want to say, as one of the practitioners, I'm sure all of the practitioners will agree with me, and all of the team, just thank you very much to you and to all of our volunteers. We genuinely couldn't do our roles without you. I can't count the number of times volunteers have had to save me from some sort of disaster on courses, venues, and goodness knows what. So, I want to say thank you to all, especially on Volunteers Week, and I'm sure, all of the team will agree with me. And thank you for chatting with us today.
Yeah.
Volunteers are an essential part of a charity like Valley Steps and the service we provide to you. As a volunteer, I feel well supported by Jane and the whole Valley Steps staff, so I'm glad that I stumbled across this charity, which I now feel very much part of. Yes, I volunteer my time freely, but I do get so much more back from being involved in this way. I can recommend it. It's easy, it's very rewarding, and you'll feel like you're making a difference to the well-being of others.